Welcome to Cinemaphile, where we showcase the best in independent documentary and foreign filmmakers and talk to them about their work. I'm your host, Mike Kaspar. You can listen to other interviews by going to Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar at Spotify. Renowned filmmaker Viktor Kossakovsky presents his spectacular new documentary film, Architecton, as a poetic meditation on architecture and how the design and construction of buildings from the ancient past may reveal much about our looming destruction, as well as offer a hope for survival and a way forward. It's a spectacular film, to say the least. Beautiful cinematography, and questions about the age of concrete and sugar are addressed here, as well as his work here with Italian architect Michele De Lucchi. It is an honor to welcome to the program the director and cinematographer of Architecton, Viktor Kossakovsky. Viktor, welcome to the program.
Yeah, pleasure to be with you again.
As I mentioned in the introduction, the film is truly a poetic meditation on architecture and the design and the construction of the buildings that we have come to know and rely on as a place of work, as a place where we live, a place of pleasure. Beautifully filmed, and a spectacular overview of all that I believe you were looking to essentially illuminate in this story. What inspired this particular project?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Um, in a way, I wanted to challenge myself
Okay.
because I was disappointed with filming people in a way, in a certain moment. And I said, okay, we understood who our people are. Like, people are nice, beautiful, tender, horrible, killers, all together. and and all filmmakers, all writers, 1,000 years already talking about it and writing about it and thinking about it and explaining how horrible, beautiful we are. And I said, okay, if I will not do it, no one will miss it. So maybe I will pay attention to something else. And I start to film water. I start to film pigs. And then I said, okay, it's easy to film things which are moving, like water or pigs. They are moving and they are alive. Why not to film something which is we consider is not alive, like
Yeah.
rock, or a mountain, or rock, or stone? And I said, that's a good challenge. For me, I've always challenged myself because
Yeah.
if I know how to do things, I will not do it. For me, it's boring. So I decided I need to film something, especially, even pigs, they still have, they still do noise, they still talk kind of in their way, they still have, and a stone, it's silent, right? So have to get movie from this, have to make people feel empathy to this, and have to, and as far as they are mostly not moving unless we push them or break them or blow them away. So have to, for example, when they're dancing, it's amazing when dogs are dancing, right?
Right.
Or they're flying like meteorites, asteroids. And I said to myself, it's a good challenge to take something what we consider dead and try to make it alive and try to make the people feel pain or empathy to rock, which will live the last seconds of its life and breaks and goes to the hell of fire and becomes cement. So I think was good challenge, and that's how it happened. I think cinema, in a way, opportunity to show something what people cannot explain in words, right? And that's why cinema is maybe best best art. In my opinion, it's really best art because and also cinema is connected to, I always think the documentary is the only art which is have both elements like aesthetical and ethical in very weird connection. So every time you do aesthetical decision, it's also ethical decision. And anyone, every time you make ethical decision, it's affect your aesthetical decisions. In documentary, even what exactly you are doing, which film you are doing, what is the subject, is already ethical decision.
Yeah.
In fiction film, you don't feel it. Like in fiction, you can make film about Neanderthals, about aliens, about a love story, about kindergarten, about whatever, and no one will pay attention to. Okay, no one can blame you. Okay, you artist, you do whatever you want. In documentary, people will say, "Oh, we have such many problems in life. We have war in life. We have pandemia. We have COVID. We have so many suffering. We have problems there, conflicts there, suffering there. And what are you doing? You're doing film about rocks, about stone. It's already kind of. It's easy to blame filmmaker in documentary. So
Yeah.
and that's why you have to be very sure that, especially now, me as a Russian filmmaker, when Russia is making this horrible war in Ukraine, I really have to be sure that I'm not doing something unethical when
Yeah.
Ukrainians are losing life and I'm doing films about architecture. It's quite difficult question, honestly.
Well, Victor, I agree with everything you said. I think the art of film, so many different sensory ways, um, comes into our lives, and we allow it to either move us or to anger us or to fall in love or whatever the emotion might be. One of the things that struck me about this film and the way that you did it is this is something rock, concrete, cement, whatever form it is hiding in plain sight in our world. Essentially, the impacts of it. If we see it, we take it for granted, and yet, and as you so beautifully render in this film, the impact of this technology is profound on the human experience, and the different ways in which you show us that are a beautiful part of the telling of this story. Let's talk a little bit about the impact of concrete as we know it today.
Yeah, interesting that even architects they did not know much about. They use a concrete because it's very flexible material, right? It's plastic and
Yeah.
they can do almost any shape. But paradoxically, they always end up with rectangle. Interesting, when I told them that, do you know how people make cement? Not many of them knew exactly. Not many of them knew that a middle-sized factory needs 26 ton of coal per hour in order to make cement, middle-sized factory. They
Wow.
didn't know that, yeah, 26 ton per hour. They didn't know that we produce amount of cement we produce enough to build wall 1,000 meter tall and 1 meter thick around equator, around the globe. So they didn't know the dimension of that hell, what we are
Right.
doing. They did not know that most of the buildings made today live only 40 years time. They did not know that in Europe we demolish over 300,000 buildings each year, average 40 years old. They did not know that in America you demolish, let's say in numbers, half of Washington DC each year.
Yeah.
Again, buildings about 40 years old. So when you tell them this, they don't believe. They shock because they did not know that cement is actually, if I tell you that 8.5% of CO2 emission goes from cement production, only from cement. So not from construction, pollution in some countries, pollution from construction goes up to 30%. But only cement production, 8.5% of CO2. Can you imagine what
No.
we're doing? We used to make building from we. cement, but only like basement, like okay, like you need bridge or you need airport or train station, big size scale, and you need to do it fast, yes. But now we are doing entire buildings from cement, and we came to the such absurd that
Yeah.
we even do memorials from cement.
Yeah.
Memorial is supposed to be forever. But modern cement doesn't last more than 80 or 100 years.
Yeah.
Modern cement will be destroyed in 80 or 100 years. And we are doing memorials from this. In the end of the film, do you see these long, long shots in the really last shots of the film when
Yeah.
we are camera moving strange labyrinth?
Yeah.
And this is entirely, it's a memorial made entirely from cement.
Yeah.
So we are completely nuts. And
There is so much. Again, the film invites you to contemplate over the course of the film, and this is the thing I think that at the end of the day, the impact of the film, will, as people take it in and understand what you're talking about, well, there's going to be no shortage of things to point to a few years down the road when we are dealing with the consequences of what you just described. But I do also want to talk in just a couple of minutes that we have left about the working with Michele De Lucchi, who is in the film. And the one thing that struck me, among many, but one thing that struck me was this idea of architecture and how it can be transformative if done in the right kinds of ways. That conversation you were having with him, I thought that was a really beautiful part of the telling of this story. Let's talk a little bit about Michelle and your work with him.
yeah, Michele, of course, I had a list before I started movie. I had a list of hundreds most important architects of today, and I start to search and I start to talk to many of them. I visit them, many of them I talk, and I saw the architecture and Michele was the only one who
Hmm.
said to me that he is shame from his body of his work. Like from if he said, okay, I made few interesting buildings, but I also made some not nice buildings, like offices and supermarket stuff
Hmm.
like this. And he feel he's building. The moment I met him, he was making this skyscraper in Milano, and he said, I don't feel correct. I
Uh-huh.
don't,
Yeah.
I feel, and this already gave me chance. Oh, this person is interesting because no one else even was close to say, I feel a little bit wrong about what we are doing. And then Michele, cinema is still cinema, and the person on the screen must be cinematic, must be kind of you want to watch him, right? You
Yeah.
want to see how he look like. Michele look like prophet, right? Like a prophet.
Yeah.
And
He does.
and Michele moving so interesting. His body tells, even from his back, he could be funny when
Yeah.
he's in the garden. He's funny in the way he moves, in the way and but in the beginning of the film, you see he's just back, but you see he was crying in front of this
Yeah.
megalith.
Yeah.
That's so cinema is cinema. You kind of in a way casting the character. Of course, there are many architects who are maybe more famous than him, or maybe better articulate ideas, or maybe, but cinema is cinema. You
Yeah.
need remarkable creature on the screen.
I'm
Like,
so glad you were able to bring him into this. Really, he has that exactly as you described. He looks like a prophet. He looks like a man of a religious man in the making this film. I'm so happy for you because I really enjoyed the film. I enjoy your work so much, and I look forward to more. I'm thrilled we had the opportunity to talk about this film. There have been others. Jennifer Basewall has done films like this. I think we need more filmmakers involved in essentially doing what you're doing here, and doing it in such a beautiful way. So thank you so very much for
thank
your
you
work.
so much.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah,
Good luck to you. I see you soon. Soon coming my next one called Trillion. It's already done. We'll talk soon.
Viktor Kossakovsky, thank you so very much for your work here in Architecton, as well as spending some time with us here today. You have been listening to Cinemaphile. I'm your host, Mike Kaspar, and you can listen to previous interviews as well as special programming, or you can subscribe by going to Cinemaphile, that's F-I-L-E, with Mike Kaspar, at Spotify. Until next time, thank you for listening.